So namaste, and thank you for joining in this class on the basic foundation course on Vedic astrology. And we have been dealing with the combinations of Balarishta and Arishta Bhanga. Okay, Balarishta means, afflictions that can cause death or death-like situations, not only in the life of the native, but also in the life of the native's parents. Okay. And Arishta Bhanga are those conditions that can cause these afflictions to be nullified, okay, due to other combinations in the planetary cabinet. Okay. So before we begin, in the last class, we also laid down, in the last few classes, that is, we also laid down a few combinations that cause Arishta or Balarishta, and also those combinations that cause Arishta Bhanga to manifest in the life of a native, right? So today we'll be looking at a few example charts, but then before we begin, let's start the class with our Shanti mantra. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunakatu Sahaviryankara Vavahai Tejasvinadadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. So let's begin with a few examples. Yeah. Just hold on. I hope you can see the screen. Right. Okay. All right. So this is a typical situation of Balarishta, where the moon is located in the 8th house and is associated with a very malefic 8th lord. Okay. The Lagna, it receives the aspects, of the 6th lord Saturn, which is also very adverse, and, a retrograde Jupiter. Okay. So because Jupiter is retrograde in this chart, so Jupiter is also acting in an adverse way. Okay. Right. Jupiter is also acting in an adverse way. So the Lagna Lord, you see, the Lagna Lord Mercury, it is also afflicted by the association with the 12th Lord, the Sun. Okay, but then you look at the Navamsha. Okay, so Lagna Lord's condition actually improves in the Navamsha. Right? So this chart is of a child who was born during night time. Okay, because, Sun is in the 5th house. Right? So it was born in during night time, and Shukla Paksha. Why? Because the moon is in the 4th house from the sun. So this is a combination of Arishta Bhanga. Okay. This is a combination where Arishta Bhanga is happening. Right. But then, although the child survived this affliction, she is mentally retarded. Okay. There is some kind of mental, deficiency associated with this child. It's a female child. Okay. It's a female child. Right. And because of this Arishta Bhanga combination, the Balarishta factor was remarkably reduced. Okay. So what we can see is that there has been some kind of qualitative improvement. Okay. Because there was no death here. But then the complete cancellation of affliction has not been possible. Okay. Let's look at the other chart. Okay. You look at this chart. It's not fitting in the screen. Anyways, you look at this chart. So the Lagna of this chart, it falls in a malefic Dracana. Okay. So we had studied about the malefic Dracanas. You can go to the last few classes, and see which Dracanas are malefic. So here the Lagna is falling in the 2nd Dracana of, of Cancer. Okay. And the Lord, okay, is debilitated, right? You see this, just a minute. Yeah. So this lord is debilitated, right? It is the Lagna lord of the Drikana chart is being debilitated in the, in the ninth house. What happened here? Yeah. So the Lagna lord is debilitated in the ninth house, and is also getting an aspect from a malefic Saturn. Okay, to Drikana chart, I mean, right? Now the Drikana lord does not aspect to Drikana Lagna. Okay, that is the condition that we had studied. Okay. Yeah. So there is no aspect of the Drikana lord on the Drikana Lagna. All right, and the child, it was a male child who died 7 days within 7 days of birth. Okay, now look at the Rashi chart. In the Rashi chart, the moon is getting afflicted by the sixth lord, okay, the eighth lord, and also, a functionally malefic Venus which is debilitated, and all the malefics except Saturn, they occupy the Kendras and the Trikonas. Okay, and the only benefic in a Kendra, right, Mercury, it is the only benefic that is there in the Kendra. Okay, so it is functionally malefic for a Cancer Lagna. It is retrograde as well as combust. Okay, so it becomes very, very weak. It becomes pretty weak, and Mercury is also the lord of the 22nd Drikana. All right, so the we had studied that the lord of the 22nd Drikana is also very malefic. Okay, the lord of the 61st Navamsha is also very malefic. And how to find out the lord of the 22nd Drikana? Just look at the 8th house of the Drikana. Okay, the 8th house of the Drikana is the 22nd Drikana, and the what to say, the 4th house of the Navamsha is the 64th Navamsha. Okay, if you have some confusion regarding this. So there is an exchange between the 4th and the 6th lord, so there is a lot of proneness to accidents. Okay, so this exchange, you look at the Navamsha, right? There is an exchange between the 4th and the 6th lord, and this exchange, it ensured that there was some kind of surgical intervention before the death. Okay, as I said, it's a male child, and you look at the Lagna lord in the 4th house, it is also associated with the 8th lord. So it was a quite it was a child that died days after its birth. Okay. Now, I had also, mentioned that the principles of Balarishta can sometimes manifest much later in life. Okay, so look at this chart, right? Look at this chart. The moon goes into the 8th house. Okay, so it indicates a typical Balarishta. Okay, and the birth was during night time in Shukla Paksha. So it ensures cancellation of this affliction. All right, and Jupiter being very strong and also aspecting the Lagna from the 5th house, it takes away a lot of bad things from the from the Kendras which are very malefic. Okay, and you look at the Lagna lord Mars, which is exalted in the 3rd house, so this is an additional favorable factor for health. Okay, now look at the Drikana and the Navamsha chart. Okay, so this native died in the Vimshottari Dasha of Venus and Moon at the age of 62 years. Okay, so Venus is a Maraka associated with Mars and aspected by Saturn, and the Moon is located in the 8th house. Okay, so this Moon, it is the it is the just hold on. Yeah, so the Moon is also associated with the 22nd Drikana lord Mercury in the Drikana chart. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that the birth is happening in an adverse Drikana, but then the Drikana lord is exalted and is also aspected by an exalted Jupiter. Okay, so you look at the Drikana chart, the natural benefics, they are occupying the Kendras in that chart. Okay, so it's a cancellation of Balarishta. All right, so I hope this has been clear. So next we look at the placement of lords of houses. Just as different houses of a horoscope govern specific areas of an individual's life, So the various planets, on account of their lordship of those houses, they also govern specific areas of your life. Okay. For example, the first house or the lagna, it governs the body or the health of the individual. Okay. And various aspects relating to a person's body and health, they are consequently judged from the lord of the lagna. Okay. Similarly, the matters pertaining to wealth, they are judged from the second house as well as the lord of the second house. Or matters pertaining to the siblings, they are looked at from the third house or the third lord, and so on. Okay. So the placement of the lord of a house in any of the 12 houses of the horoscope has special relevance to matters pertaining to both house. Okay, that means the house owned as well as the house occupied. For example, if the 11th lord goes to the 7th house, then there will be specific relevance to the 11th house as well as to the 7th house, because the 11th lord is going to the 7th house. Okay. So we will be looking at what Parashara says about the results produced by the placement of different lords in various houses. Okay, you can apply these results to individual charts, but be very flexible in your application. Okay. And there are certain additional factors that Parashara mentions which must be considered during an interpretation. Okay. So number one, you have to look at the inherent nature of the planet involved. Okay. No matter wherever it is lording, you also have to look at whether the nature is malefic or benefic. Or if it is malefic or benefic, then is it a functional malefic or a functional benefic? Okay, so nature is very important. Then you also have to look at the associations or aspects of the planet or with the planet or with the other planets. Okay, and then you also have to look at the condition of the planet in the divisional charts, which we call as the Vargas, right? And then you also have to look at the Dasha, which Dasha is running, because the Dasha is very important to determine the time when a promise is fulfilled. Okay, so we'll be looking at, first we'll be covering the Lagna Lord in different houses, and then we'll be looking at the second Lord in different houses, the third Lord in different houses. So this is going to be long. Okay, so today we'll be covering only the Lagna and the second Lord. Okay, now what you must understand is the Lagna Lord, it carries the energy of the sun. Okay, it carries the energy of the sun. So wherever the Lagna Lord goes, it will burn away, it will eat away some some significations of the house wherever it is placed. For example, say if the Lagna Lord is placed in the 5th house, then it can give you heartbreaks, because then this energy of the sun, it can burn up the 5th house that you have. Okay, so this is very important to understand. The Lagna Lord will eat up some kind of signification of the house in which it is placed. Okay, that is the reason some astrologers say that Lagna Lord placed in the 8th house indicates, a short life, because 8th house is the house of longevity. And whenever the Lagna Lord goes into the 8th house, it eats up the longevity in the, that is there in the chart. Okay, so the Lagna Lord is placed in the, so if the Lagna Lord is placed in the 1st house, then it is said that the native will have sound health. He or she will be long-lived, courageous, thoughtful, adulterous. Okay, adulterous means it will be a lot of vitality, and you can do anything with that vitality. Okay, and then you can, it is also said that the first lord in the 1st house can give, benefits from landed property. Okay, if the Lagna Lord goes into the 2nd house, it makes one very learned, very prosperous, religiously inclined. Okay, sober. Okay, sober. Then, blessed with many virtues and earning from lands and horses. Okay, that is what Parashara says. The Lagna Lord going into the 3rd house, it makes one very courageous. Okay, Parashara says you have the courage of a lion. Okay, because the sun rules Leo. And then it makes one very wise, okay, blessed with brothers and lot of relatives. Okay, then Lagna Lord in the 4th house, it means that the person will derive comforts from the mother. Okay, the person can also have various, several brothers, because Mars is also one of the karakas of the 4th house. Okay, the person can also be very sensuous, because the moon, it gets Digbala in the 4th house. Even Venus gets Digbala in the 4th house. Okay, good looks. All right, and then devoted to mother. Okay. In the 5th house, if the Lagna Lord goes into the 5th house, the person can get easily angered. Okay. Can, will receive comforts from his children. Parashara says a very important thing. His firstborn does not survive. Okay. As I said, the Lagna Lord, it carries the energy of the sun. Okay. So the sun can cause this, this death of the first child. Okay. Then if the Lagna Lord goes into the 6th house, the native can destroy his opponents by enjoying good health. Okay. Additionally, the native can earn from landed property. Okay. Now, if this Lagna Lord is afflicted by malefics, then there will be poor health and troubles from enemies. Okay. In the 7th house, if Lagna Lord goes into the 7th house, so this is a condition where where your marriage is blocked. Okay, Lagna Lord going into the 7th house is a condition where your marriage is blocked, because the 7th house is the house of partnerships, and Lagna Lord going into the 7th house, it means it eats away into your chances of finding a partner for yourself. Okay, so this is very important to understand. Okay, so it can make you detached from partners. Okay, it can also make you wander in foreign lands, but you'll have a brilliant mind. And if you do get married, then your wife will be good natured. Now the various planets here will modify the results. I'm just reading out the results in general. That is what Parashara says. Okay. Lagna Lord into the 8th house, it can lead to accumulation of wealth which does not belong to you. That means maybe you earn wealth by inheritance. Okay, but it can also make you adulterous. Okay, it can make you having a nature that is very, say, sensuous. Okay, it can also push people towards gambling. All right. Now, if the 8th Lord is a malefic, then a person will suffer from eye diseases. Okay. And if it is benefic, then the person will be good looking. Okay. So you can predict this. You can take this as a dictum. If the 8th Lord is associated with the Lagna Lord or the 12th house or the 2nd house, then the person will face some problems with the eyes, because the 2nd house represents the right eye and the 12th house represents the left eye. Okay, so any association of the 8th Lord with the yeah. So did you hear what I said about the 9th house? My audio got damaged a bit. Okay. 8th house, I hope the 8th house was clear, or even the 8th house was. Did you hear about the 8th house? About the eye diseases that I spoke? Okay. So 9th house. 9th house, Lagna Lord in the 9th house. It is very favorable. It is one of the best positions for the Lagna Lord to be in. Okay. It gives you a lot of fame. It gives you a lot of fortune. It gives you favors from the ruler. Okay. And it also makes you a very benevolent talker. Okay. Your way of talking will be very, very good. Now, Lagna Lord in the 10th house. Okay. The 10th house is the house of the world. All right. The 10th house is the house of the world. It is where you give yourself to the world. That is the original house of Capricorn or Makara. So in the 10th house, it'll give you a lot of learnings. It'll give you a lot of respect, but you'll find it very, very difficult, to just hold on. I have a call from serviceman. Just hold on. Okay, really sorry about that. Yes. So the 10th house, it can Lagna Lord in the 10th house, it makes you very, very learned. Okay. But then you have to use that learning for the world. Okay. It will not leave you with much time for your family, with much time for your happiness. You have to, constantly keep on giving to the world. You have to utilize your gifts for the world. Okay. For the betterment of the world. Okay. Then Lagna Lord in the 11th house, it brings a lot of benefits. Okay. From friends, from your network circles. It can now the 11th house is not good. Okay, it is not good. But that Lagna Lord in the 11th house, Parashara says it is good, but that happiness that you derive from the Lagna Lord in the 11th house, it can come at the cost of your health. Plus, the Lagna Lord in the 11th house will mean that you will have only at least, only 2 or 3 friends at max in your entire lifetime. True friends or real friends. Okay, not more. Okay, so you may have a huge network, but friends will be far and few between. Okay, then Lagna Lord in the 12th house. So this can indicate settling down in a place which is far from your house. Okay, and if the Lagna Lord has no benefic association, or if if the 12th house is not aspected by benefics, then a lot of money can be wasted on futile expenditure. Okay, the person can be easily angered. But if the 12th house or the 12th or the Lagna, if the 12th house is aspected by a benefic, then much of the afflictions are reduced. Okay. Now we look at the second lord in different houses. Any questions still here? Do you have any questions? Yeah, Lagna Lord in second house. I'll come to that. Lagna Lord in second house, it can give you problems due to your speech. Okay, it can give you problems from the food that you eat. It can also, give you some kind of cuts and burns or some kind of injury marks in the face. Okay, so it is good for wealth making, however. Okay, it is good for wealth making, but then, because as I said, the Lagna Lord carries the energy of the sun. So what happens is in the second house, yeah, if it is K2 in the second house is not good for wealth. Okay, K2 is in the second house is not good for wealth. Lagna Lord with K2, your intelligence will be very, will be, K2 has a very fierce cutting energy. Okay, so it'll try to cut away the wealth for you. Okay, and but wherever K2 is placed, you have a multiplication of the significations of that house, so it can make you very wealthy. But then even if you have a very good house, or even if you have a lot of money in your bank account, you will find it very, very difficult to deal with it. Okay, you'll be very disinterested or very disinclined in your own house or with your own bank account. Okay, K2 second house good for fixed assets. You will have fixed assets. Okay, you will have fixed assets, because wherever K2 is placed, you will have the significations of that house very intact, but you will not be able to enjoy those significations. That is the problem. Okay, for example, K2 in the 4th house, you will have a very good home. Okay, don't think that K2 will rob you of your house. If you have K2 in the 4th house, you'll actually have a very good house, but then you'll not be able to enjoy that house. Okay, something will happen that will not be able to enjoy, because K2 cuts away everything. So it will cut away that signification. Okay. All right. So we look at the second lord in various houses. Okay. So the second lord, it is the wealth earner in the chart. Okay. It is the well. All right. It is the well, the fixed well of wealth that you have. Okay. So first house, it'll make you wealthy. Okay. It'll make you, thrifty. That means it'll make you very miserly. Okay. And then peculiarly, what happens is Parashara says that, if you have the second lord in the first house, you'll be able to help others, but you'll not be able to help your own family members. It happens. Okay. It does happen at that time, at that point. Why? Because from the first house, the planet will directly aspect the 7th house, which is the house of others. Okay. If the second lord is in the 2nd house, this is good. You'll be wealthy, you'll earn well, you'll enjoy the comforts that the divine bestows upon you in this lifetime. And you will be less inclined to oppose others. You'll have a very very gentle speech, gentle way of talking. Okay. 3rd house, the second lord in the 3rd house. So this makes the person earn wealth through his or her courage. Okay, but it can also make one very, very greedy. Okay. Now, if the second lord is malefic and it is placed in the 3rd house, then there will be differences with the siblings. Okay. And if the second lord is benefic by nature, then there will be differences with the government. Okay. Now, if we know that the 2nd house from any house sustains that house. Okay. So if the second lord, if the second lord goes into the 3rd house and is associated with malefics, then the person will speak ill of the of the devatas or virtuous beings. Okay, there are certain atheists that you will come across. Okay, just look at the combinations in the charts of atheists. Atheists will have that second lord in the 3rd house. Okay, associated with malefics. That makes you very, very prone to speaking ill of religion, of the gods. Okay, you've seen, everyone must have heard about Pariyar, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, right? So he was the one whose followers, they slap Lord Rama with chappals. So those are the people who will have that second lord in the 3rd house and getting aspected or joined with malefic or joined by malefics. Okay. Then if the second lord goes into the 4th house, you will make your own wealth. Okay, you will make your own wealth. You'll receive, you will inherit things from your mother. Okay, and it's very good if the second lord gets associated with Jupiter or Venus in the 4th house. All right. Then in the 5th house, you can get a lot of wealth from your parents. Okay, and you will be blessed with children. Okay, because the second lord is the lord of earning. So wherever the second lord goes, you earn those significations of the houses wherever the second lord is placed. Okay, so the second lord is the house of earning. So if it goes into the 5th house, you'll be blessed with children, you'll be earning children, that is. Okay, in the 6th house, you'll be earning diseases, you'll be earning enemies, you'll be earning litigations. Okay, so you can also earn wealth through your enemies, right? For example, some people become rich by slapping a notice on others, demanding a lot of money in compensation, legal notices, right? So that is how, when the second lord goes into the 6th house. Then 7th house, you'll be earning from your spouse, as simple as that. Okay, you will be earning from your spouse, but then you or the spouse can indulge in adultery. Okay, because the 7th house is also the house of adultery, which is who has Venus as the karaka. Okay, second lord in the 8th house, this will bring income from lands. Okay, from property, because now you're earning from your ancestral properties. Okay, but it can also give you suicidal tendencies. Okay, it can give you suicidal tendencies because the 8th house is the house of extreme paranoia. It is the house of psychological illnesses. So you're earning that from the second lord as well. Okay, 9th house, so it will make you earn from your father, it will make you earn from your gurus. Okay, it will also make you a very good speaker, because from the 9th house, the second lord will directly look at the 3rd house. Okay, and you can also earn wealth from your own efforts. Second lord in the 10th house, this brings a lot of reputation, this brings a lot of respect from the society. Okay, and you can also earn wealth through the government, because the sun exalts in the natural, the sun gets digbala in the 10th house. Okay, second lord in the 11th house, this is one of the best yogas for prosperity. Okay, it will make it will ensure that you never have a, you know, it will ensure that you never have an empty pocket. Second lord in the 11th house. This is the biggest Dhana yoga that you can have. Saturn with Sagittarius Lagna house. I'm not getting your question, ma'am. Are you wanting to say that Saturn in Sagittarius in the first house, or what? I'm not getting that. Okay, so the question needs to be more clear. I'm here. You can frame the question properly. Then second lord in the 12th house. So, here you are earning expenditures. That means whatever you earn, you'll be spending more of that. Okay, and you're also, earning. You're also earning isolation. You're also earning solitude. Okay, now if the second lord is benefic, then these people will earn through trade in foreign lands or in foreign countries. Okay, that is how it works. Okay, so Lagna Saturn is not good in any case. Okay, even if it is Libra, say if the chart is Libra Lagna, Saturn in Lagna is not good. It will give you a lot of pain. Okay, so in Sagittarius ascendant, Saturn is there, right? So Saturn in Lagna is not good because Saturn is the planet that always comes last. So if you put it in the first house where, which has the energy of the sun, it does not do good. It will give you dukkha. Okay, it will give you sorrow. It'll give you a lot of sorrow. All right. Now you have to evolve from that sorrow. Of course, the sorrow is meant to make you evolve, but most people cannot handle it. It's very difficult to handle Saturn in the ascendant. Anyways, so that's it in today's class. If you have any other doubts, you can kindly ask me. Otherwise, we can end it here. Great. Okay, then. So thank you so much for joining in. The Kala Sarpa class will be held on Tuesday, which you have missed on Saturday. And the Sri Suktam class for last week will be provided as a recording. Okay. Can we discuss different Lagna house next class? Yes, we'll be looking at the third lord in different houses. Okay, third, fourth, we'll be looking at all the lords. It'll take around 2 to 3 classes. Okay. So, we have reached 50% of our course. It has been almost a year, I suppose, right? So it'll take another year, hopefully, to complete this course. Okay, so 2 years is necessary. Okay. So thank you so much for joining. I'll see you next class. Namaste. Om Gurave Namaha.